Tonight, Pete Hegseth is again facing scrutiny after inviting a self-described Christian nationalist to deliver a prayer service at the Pentagon. Pastor Doug Wilson is the co-founder of a growing network of churches that Pete Hegseth is a part of.
Oh, the women are not humans guy. Oh, we watched that guy back in the day. The women are not humans. They are our pets. Did you see my tweet on that shit? Did you see this? It's kind of blowing up. I don't know why it's blowing up. I'm going to blow up and act like I don't know about it. 600,000 views. Oh, my fucking God. Okay. It's always the shittiest tweets of mine that blow up. So I saw this, right?
Women are made to be fucked, literally. That's what it is.
Thank you, Therkas. Thank you very much.
Act potent. We are act. They are potential. They have eggs. We have sperm. Sexual act actualizes the potential, makes a baby. That is what they are made for. That they're made to be bred. They are made to have kids with. Okay, they exist for sex. Women exist for sex. That is why they are mothers, or they are whores, or they are nuns. End of list. Women are either mothers, whores, or nuns. No other options. There are no female philosophers. There are no female inventors. There are no female generals or billionaires.
I've been talking about this for literally 10 years now, how the easiest, best current target for reactionaries co-opting the conversation about so-called masculinity in crisis are women. This is a perfect category of others to rally against. But I've been talking about this on end, and I've made videos, borderline mini documentaries on this shit for years now, and I genuinely think it's an important conversation. So with this post, I wanted to do something a little bit different, which is basically specifically propaganda targeted at right-wing women. Because the second I saw this, I'm like, okay, maybe I can convert a few rightoid women towards being a little bit more normal. So the post is, the existence of right-wing women when their comrades don't even consider them human will forever be a mystery to me. It's not a mystery to me. Okay? Through dialectical materialism, we can understand every category of quisling. Okay? Be it a racial group, an ethnic group, or in this case, a gender category that works with the enemy. Right? We can explain this, but I intentionally let it be relatively open-ended. Why? Because you play checkers, I play 5D chess. Because the new right-wingers are going to come into my chat and prove my point, and prove it again, and prove it again, and prove it again, which they did, which they really did. A woman's personality is whatever is safest to be given the people she is around. How about left-wing women whose comrades can't define a woman unless a man wants to be one? Fuentes is a fringe figure and an interloper. No matter what the groypers on this side try to say, his views about women aren't shared by folks on the right. It should remain a mystery to you. I like bait king overlord. I am mogging without them even knowing they are being mogged. This is literally the trans conception of womanhood. And if you don't know that, you're not paying attention. There is more diversity of thought on the political right than on the political left. Yes, because on the right, you can think anything. It's vibes. It's emotions over facts. It's just continuous fucking ego masturbation of some of the biggest loser pussy-ass bitches on the planet. Sorry for my verbal diarrhea there. Normal comments here. Here, this guy's like, this is the perfect person I want. This is, and there's so many responses like this. And I hope that if a woman reads this, especially a woman that identifies with the right wing, that she can wake up maybe for a second. It's not that they are not human. They are just not men. They have different spirits, different destinies. They're called to different things, different roles. In this example, art and philosophy are just demonstrably the exclusive domain of a particular sort of men. Please keep proving my point. Please write shit that every woman who reads them will reconsider her political opinion. Oh, God. The appeal of a set beliefs is the beliefs themselves, not the people who hold those beliefs with you. The set of beliefs is dehumanization of categories which are not deemed appropriate, which in this case includes women. That is the base of right-wing thinking. And to think that probably this is a woman that replied like this, which is curly hair, maybe a little bit biracial, makes it even more incredible. Holy fucking shit. Okay, normal comments. This is an interesting comment. They think the left is worse. I disagree with them, but most conservative women aren't conservative because they agree with Fuentes or even tolerate him. Yes, they have not been exposed to what right-wing men actually say about women behind closed doors. You think that what men say behind closed doors about women is wicked and fucked up? It fucking is, okay? I am deeply embedded in bro culture, sometimes too much. That is why I try to work on it as much as possible and explore the feminine as much as possible, quote unquote feminine, you know what I mean, in order to defeat those aspects of my inbred thinking. But if you think they are bad, right-wing men behind closed doors when it comes to women, literally 100% of them do not. In the best case scenario, right-wing men do not consider you equals. Do not consider you members of the same species. In the best case scenario. My grandma was like, a woman's place is to care for a household and for a man when he gets home from work. And my mom and I are like, Grandma, you've had a job your entire life. You were working at a retirement home after retirement age. This is a decent comment. It's not that simple, but it's collaborationism. They want to suck up the rich males to take their resources and see other females as competitors. They also want to exploit children, lower classes, and racial outgroups, and they see exploitation by their husband as an acceptable trade-off. To an extent, this is the mentality of a Quisling, and right-wing women de facto are Quislings. Tell me if I'm wrong with this, right? Everyone that is not a part of the designated metaphysical category of the Übermensch in any right-wing movement who also supports that right-wing movement can be two things: either a Quisling that does collaborationism like this, or a fucking idiot, right? Let's not ignore the fact here in Yugopnik chat we are big supporters of the fucking idiot analysis, because a lot of people just do this because they're fucking idiots, but a lot more of them are just, collaborationists, Quislings. Thing is that right-wing men don't even like right-wing women. They like to go to leftist women for some reason. It's fucking weird. They want mommies, that's why. It's either a kink or they're mentally ill. No mystery. The women know they are subordinates. They don't expect anything higher. They are grateful to be owned by their masters. They think it will put them in special places when master is happy with them. Yep. Those women, one should say, maybe. I grew up in a small town, very right-wing. The thing a lot of men say is truly heinous. Now I live in a big city, and I'm in the punk scene. There is a stark difference in how men talk about women. Oh, yes, there is. There absolutely is. There absolutely is. That classic, like when you go on a date with a guy, look at how he treats, service staff. I have a better tip. As straight male on steroids, Yugopnik. I mean, not on steroids, I like a little dick from time to time, fucking around. But no, jokes aside, pay attention to, not pay attention, bring up women as a topic, as absurd as it sounds, when he is around his bros. If he does not immediately respond and share his opinion on a particular political issue that involves women, but pushes it aside like, we don't want to talk about that. Oh, why are you bringing the mood down? Oh, it's not that deep, That directly implies, trust me, that directly implies that he's scared of the men around him hearing opinions about women that he does not share with them when they're alone. That he's going to pussy out to the bitch, quote unquote, right? So if he's pushing it away and not fucking responding while his bros can hear, that means the conversations he has with his bros on the topic of women are something that he would not like you to know. Fucking trust me on this one. Try it. Fucking try it. Try it. Normal men, yes, will immediately fucking respond. What the fuck? Yes, obviously they will. He knows a secret jutsu who taught him this. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah. Women as the big bad other are already a big pitch, especially with the online right.
He believes that women should not be allowed to
Because it's a big pool that you can pull from. Men that are informed that a woman's position in life is one of a wife of a nuclear family in a stage of capitalism in which nuclear families can no longer exist in the form they existed in the past, when the economy kind of to an extent did give enough funding to a single man to take care of an entire household. There are some women as well that really want that definition of femininity but cannot receive it in late stage capitalism, which leads them to also being reactionary towards men, which then also, of course, gives more fuel to reactionary men to point and be like, look at them. They all just want money or whatever. Trump is going live on a conference soon. Cuphead, you legend, thank you for finding this. Please pay attention. When it goes live, just spam the shit out of me in chat. Thank you.
vote that some slave owners were decent human beings and that society should be governed by a strict interpretation of biblical law, where homosexuality, for example.
By the way, I love these type, the funny thing, objectively funny about hardcore misogyny fascists like this is if you make women working illegal, the entire economy would crash in 3 days. Half of your workforce are women. My God, who's gonna do half of the jobs? Just what?
Is a crime. Now, Wilson gave a 15-minute sermon at the Pentagon's auditorium, which was broadcast on the department's internal TV network and confirmed by the Defense Department on social media. His sermon focused on putting Christ, Jesus, first. I guess he calls himself a paleo-Confederate something or another. But this is a man who, in addition to everything that we just talked about, I mean, he has gone to great lengths to explain why slavery was
now for me to do a little bit of misogyny, absurdly good-looking woman, just like Jesus fucking Christ.
Not as bad as people make it seem. He said, slavery as it existed in the South was not an adversarial relationship with pervasive racial animosity. Because of its dominantly patriarchal character, it was a relationship based on mutual affection and confidence. There has never been a multiracial society which has existed with such mutual intimacy and harmony in the history of the world. That's a real quote. Dr. West?
No. Oh, brother, Pastor Wilson. I'm praying for him in the name of my sweet Jesus. You know what I mean? But Martin King and Reverend Jesse Jackson, they were followers of Jesus, and they knew, in fact, that Jesus has always been used and deployed in such a way.
Jesse Jackson challenge. Don't mention Martin Luther King in the first 10 seconds of your address. A challenge. Challenge level impossible. No, that's fine. That's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like if you like, I probably listened to like over 100 hours of this guy's speeches. I liked like 80% of them, but it always just starts with the bomb, like you okay, like immediately.
Accommodates the empire, organized hatred,
Cornell West.
Weaponized greed, and institutionalized indifference to the weak. That's the history of the institutional church at its worst. Now, those of us who are Christians hold on to the prophetic version. So I would want to ask my dear Pastor Wilson, who was Jesus really to you? Do you think that loving thy neighbor leads toward saying those kind of things about precious black people and enslaved Africans? What would he say if somebody came along and said, in the name of Jesus, only women can vote, but men can't vote?
That's unfortunately why American right-wingers unironically want to remove Jesus from the gospel. Like, because he's too woke.
Where's the
Jesus Christ of Christianity is too woke for Christianity.
golden rules? Do unto others as you would have others to do unto you. And so in that regard, this is just not Christianity. The Judaic forms, prophetic, Heschel, forms of Judaism that conform to empire, white supremacy, whatever it is. Muslim, look at Iran right now. The heroic struggles of everyday Iranian people against what? Against versions of Islam that Malcolm X would bring major critique to bear because it what? It represses everyday people. So that in that regard, you know, I'm not surprised, but we just have to fight it and not be so overwhelmed by it. That's the crucial thing.
I mean, the problem, I mean, look, we all know that that's out there.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Christian nationalism is not a new concept. And in fact,
right.
these types of pastors who have been defending Jim Crow and slavery have been around since the dawn of Jim Crow and slavery.
Absolutely.
But for him to be invited to the Pentagon in the United States government, I don't understand how that can even happen.
Well, let's clarify a few things. One, this is a voluntary deal, so you're not forced to attend it if you work at the Pentagon. They bring in all kinds of different religious leaders. They have Buddhists, they have Jewish people, they have Hindus, they have plenty of different representation of different religious views. And his sermon had nothing to do with what you just
say it. They bring Zionists, like hardcore pro-war Zionists, pro-genocide Zionists. What's another white supremacist, eh?
But this has nothing to do
What's another misogynist here and there when we're already platforming genocide lovers?
with religious views. This has to do with somebody who has ahistorical, hateful views.
It is not out of norm at all, I agree.
Well, look,
That's, I mean, Christian.
Louis Farrakhan
there
had a lot of
are
different views, and Louis Farrakhan was presented all over.
Invited to the Pentagon?
He was invited to a lot of powerful places.
He was
let's put it
invited
that
to
way.
the Pentagon?
I don't know if he was invited to the
Was he-
Pentagon or not.
was he?
But he was certainly invited to
Was he
government
invited
deals.
to
He
the
was-
White
He was
House?
certainly invited to government
I mean, look,
facilities.
I think it's a question of, is it appropriate? Look, there are Christian pastors and interfaith leaders in the Congress. Nobody is disputing that. The question is this guy.
But he didn't talk about any of that. He talked about victory in battle.
what?
He talked about faith. Well, I mean, you're saying that he has certain views, so therefore he should be ostracized and not
Yes,
allowed.
I forgot, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Victory in battle. Reminded me. Look at this. It's on the middle of the screen. This is what mogging chat looks like in Gamba. How about you show me my place? At least try to. By investing in the show. For 5 gift subs or more and spinning that wheel. Let's Gamba, guys. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It is time to spin the wheel. 5 gift subs and more allow you to Gamba. Let's have some fun. Not all of it, not everything has to be serious. Not everything has to be serious. I want to see this spin. I want to see this little thing spin. Let's have some fun, eh? Let's have some fun. You know you want to do it. Other places, you just give subs and you support the community. Okay, pretty chill. You support the creator, not bad. You should do it to other people as well. But here, you also get to scratch the degenerate itch. Now that is a W. That is a W. Let's fucking spin that shit. Or I'm just gonna keep winning all the time and you guys are gonna think I'm fake. No, I want you to win so that you can fucking see that I'm just I'm not setting this thing up from the get-go. Okay, babies? Okay.
I am saying that.
And I'm saying that they let all kinds of
So
different
you
views
don't
in there.
agree?
Bro, let me spin, bro. Bro, let me spin a little bit, bro. Please let me spin.
You
But-
think
but
that
I
it's
actually-
okay to be there?
I think that Pete Hegseth has a right to, they have a right to have different views there. I do think they have a right to
But
have
here's the
different views
thing.
there.
So I ran the faith portfolio for Barack Obama, and we did bring different views.
Yeah.
We had the Guru Nanak celebration. We had Diwali. We had our iftars. We had the the Easter prayer breakfast. Ran them all. Different views. We didn't bring jihadists in the White House. We didn't bring white supremacists in the White House. We read people's sermons. We ensured that the words
Now do the same thing about Israelis, huh?
that they profess because of their faith were not demonizing another faith. We had Hanukkah at the White House. I believe that we are a nation that should celebrate different faiths. I really do. Not, though, at the expense of others. Second, what he was saying about slavery has nothing to do with spirituality or Christianity or any faith. It is a perverse approach. There was no harmony between the master and the slave. The master may think that, but the slave had no power. That is just a fact, and that is wrong. And if it's not the case, then why doesn't he become a slave? Because I'm sure there wouldn't be no harmony there. And then the final thing is, it is not an isolated event. We cannot look at this as an isolated event. We cannot say that 2 weeks ago, when apes are put on a website, and then you bring somebody into the White House that says slavery was a harmonious condition, that they don't go hand in hand. It does. And so as a person who feels like his language could come harm to my ancestors, to me, and for the people that come before, I think we can say diversity of views are appropriate. I think we have to stand on some moral clarity that slavery does not fall in that category.
So, Brianna, Pete Hegseth knows that this guy is controversial because when CNN did a piece about him a while back, he responded to it with a tweet saying, "All of Christ for all of life," seemingly to endorse the controversial things that he said in that interview. So he knows, right, that this is controversial. Why would he do something like this?
Well, I'm curious if he knows about the slave remarks. I know that this pastor is controversial, according to some, for his views on women and family structure.
He was asked about it, by the way, in that interview with
He was asked
Pamela.
specifically about the slavery thing?
Yes, he was, yeah.
Well, if it was up to me, I would not have invited this specific pastor precisely over those comments. I also don't control the Pentagon. I think that there are plenty of other good Christian pastors out there that they could have invited. And if I was recommending to Pete Hegseth, I would probably say the same thing.
Well, we do control the Pentagon indirectly. It's our.
I mean, me personally.
Yeah, but it's such a wasted opportunity because what Hal said is true. It should be a place. People should be able to pray. They want to pray the way they want to pray. That's a fundamental human right. And diversity of this nation's diversity of spiritual life is a strength. And frankly, we could use more of it right now. And it's such a wasted opportunity to go to this degraded spiritual place and divide us again along these lines when the whole purpose of prayer, right, is to kind of...
I mean, if you really want to be based, you should say, any religious leader going to the Pentagon is already fucked up. Any principled religious leader who holds human life to a quality that cannot be debated or discussed should not go to the fucking Pentagon. Literally the killing factory of our planet. But okay.
Is to get us closer to the better angels of our nature. And I just think it was wrong.
That's true. But then the other side of this thing is that the Pentagon has been associated with so many war crimes themselves.
Oh, shit! Okay. Let him cook, bro. Yeah, blядь, kurva.
So it's not just a matter of a debate about a pastor who's on the lunatic fringe, but we got to get at the very heart of who we are as a nation, as an empire, as a civilization. How do we stay in contact with our best? How do we stay in contact with our worst? And when you have mechanisms of killing innocent people, drones being dropped, it could be Obama, it could be Bush, it could be Trump. And when you actually then have genocide in Gaza facilitated, that's the Pentagon and Congress too. And if you don't want to call it genocide, it's still crimes against humanity. You're killing innocent folk. Any child of any color in any nation being killed is murder. by Pentagon, by me, by anybody else. That's morality too. That's spirituality too. So I don't want this particular debate to overlook these larger challenges of we as a people, as a slice of the human species.
And of course, there can be no response to this because they can't respond to this. Maybe the conversation should be not only about whether the Pentagon should platform far-right psychos, but maybe we should drive the conversation towards why would any religious or faith leader that believes in basic ethics and morality ever choose to go to the Pentagon? What is crazier, far-right psychos going to the far-right building or non-far-right psychos going to the far-right building? That is a question for another day. Why are you even in the room? Exactly.